Hey, China L. Colston, also known as Chinese actress and independent filmmaker. So today is Tuesday, June 30th, 2015, and I'm feeling pretty good about my extended journey of filmmaking. So I have started working on my new film, Circle the Wagons. And I don't know if it's going to be a short film or feature length at this point. Looks like it's leaning toward a feature film, but who knows? Um, and I started writing on the treatment of the script, and I just completed the synopsis yesterday, and I ran it by some fellow artists, and it really appeals to them, and I'm happy that it has sparked interest from them. So they are intrigued about how the film will unfold based on the synopsis I read to them. So that's good. That's really good. It's a great place to start. But of course, I have to be the first person to like it. But of course, a movie is not just for myself. It's for me to share with other people who will hopefully be engaged by the narrative. They also offer their help if I needed help developing it, so that's great too. So I'm excited about Circle the Wagons. I haven't really devoted a lot of time in screenwriting in a while. The last script I worked on was To Cook or Not to Cook, which is my second comedy, which will be a short. But sometimes I have to step away from a screenplay because I'm experiencing writer's block. And then I'll reconnect to it when I'm compelled to do so. The same thing happened with Dark Seed. I started writing Dark Seed. The initial words of Dark Seed began in 2003. But here I am completing the post-production aspect of Dark Seed in 2015. It's 12 years from its inception. I was on and off writing Dark Seed. I would finish other films, produce other films, and come back to Dark Seed and leave it and come back, and I finally just committed to it. So I think that the same thing will happen with To Cook or Not to Cook. But I am very, very dedicated to completing the film Circle the Wagons because it's an important subject matter to me, and I want to be a part of the solution. And I try to use my art sometimes as another expression of solution that has all the elements of deceit and greed and selfishness and and humor and relatability. On another note, I was invited to a graduation celebration of this young guy, this young brother named Elijah. He graduated from high school, and his mother invited his peers over and her friends, and it was a celebration of him graduating from high school, and he's a young black man, and it was a beautiful thing, to celebrate this achievement. It was like a big village came around to honor his achievement along with his peers. And he got up and he shared some poetry. His mother's a poet. And then some of his other peers, they shared like a dramatization of a monologue. Someone else shared like a hip hop, like a rap they produced. Another student was an illustrator. So they were very gifted and talented, and they were aware of their gifts, which is good. And there was a brother who was there. His name was I believe Dr. Kaba, and he's, I believe, a historian and an orator, and he was sharing about how he interacted with teenagers and how he was, he was a teacher in Indiana, and how it was a blessing to interact with high school students and to understand, where they're coming from, to get to know them and for them to get to know him. And so the communication lines were really clear, and they felt comfortable talking to him. He inspired a lot of them, but he also, we went to talk about, the educational system. And I remember when I was in elementary school, high school, I didn't find science interesting. I thought it was dull. I thought it was not connected to me other than a biological sense. And Also, I'm just discovering as an adult that if science teachers made science applicable to our everyday life, I would have found it interesting. I would have really found it interesting. It didn't seem like something that's over there that's not connected to me. Also, if they talked about black scientists and inventors, that would have definitely made it more appealing to me and more relatable to me, because people who are melanated like me in America who have success in the science industry, that would have changed my perspective or my interest. It would have amped my interest in the science. Who knows? Because I find it very interesting now because it's very applicable to me, to my everyday life. He was saying that that's what he did, in his class. He made things very applicable and relatable to the students, their everyday life. I think that we should, that more teachers should do that, even in history. Make sure that when you're teaching about history, make sure you include Black Americans, when you talk about history, because Black Americans contributed to history, to the science industry, to engineering industry, to every industry, invention industry. But it's important to see people who look like you, who are a part of those contributions, right? On another note, I went to my Instagram site, I looked at the news feed, and his sister, she had these kind of quotes, and basically was saying that every day you should do something that makes you feel, every day you should write something about you that you love about yourself. I thought that was a great idea. You should tell yourself I love me. And there were some other things. Do something for yourself every day, even if it's something small, like, I don't know, taking a bubble bath or painting your toenails or engaging in your favorite hobby, or reading a favorite novelist, reading a book from one of your favorite authors, crossword puzzle, it doesn't matter, or I don't know, singing to your child. So whatever it is, just do something that makes you smile every day, even if it's just only for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Take care of you. So that's kind of like what I wanted to share. And also too, I was reading about a James Rapier. He was a representative in Alabama, and he was fighting for the civil rights. I think it's 1866, 65, something like that. The mid 1800s, about the protecting the civil rights of the African American community. And to me, learning from Dr. I can't recall his name. Gosh, but he was essentially saying that to have African Americans be a part of the legislative body is good, but to have African Americans within the legislative bodies constructing bills and legislation that benefit the African American collective is fantastic, is great, is what's needed. Because we don't need any more symbolism. We don't need any more people in office because it symbolically gives hope. That's futile. Like, that doesn't serve the African American community in any way. Symbolism alone is what? It doesn't do anything. But for them to be in office and to continue to draft bills and pass laws, get people to vote on laws that really benefit the African American unique needs. That's what's really important. That's going to serve the community and our descendants when we pass away. And that's when I'm continuing to learn from my ancestors. They did a great number of them did a lot of things that was going to benefit me, you, their children, their children's children. They did things with that motivation in mind. And I wish that more of our Black politicians would be motivated by things that are going to uniquely, tangibly positively impact the Black collective, as opposed to just holding position and saying I was the first Black senator or the first black Congress, if you're not doing anything that's going to affect positive, tangible change within the black community where we can actually, it's going to directly impact us, you're just symbolic. And that is not advantageous to us. So shout out to those black politicians who are creating laws and co-sponsoring laws and that are positively impacting the black community unique needs. And not saying, oh, we're multicultural. No, black American specific needs, looking out for them and passing legislation and voting for legislation that really benefit us as a collective, and taking pride in that, you know. Yeah, so anyway, this is my rant, but I hope it inspires you that I think it serves all people in the Black American collective if we do engage in some activities that benefit the collective, especially our youth when we're gone. We can say, hey, I donated to this organization because they always do things that benefit the black youth. Or I spend my time in this organization or building this business because it's going to benefit the black American youth. Right? That's a win-win. All right, so enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Seek truth, seek peace, seek justice, and honor yourself. Peace, Chinese.